Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. You've probably heard a lot of things about Social Security over the years, from friends, from coworkers, from headlines, even some workers at Social Security field offices. But here's the thing, a lot of the stuff we've been told is wrong. In this video, I'm walking you through the most common myths people believe about Social Security. And more importantly, I'm going to give you the real facts so you can make the smartest possible decision for your future. Let's start with the basics. How your Social Security benefit is actually calculated, because this is where a lot of the confusion begins. Myth: Social Security is based on your last earning years. This myth is absolutely everywhere, and I can't tell you how many times I've heard it, even from people who swear they've been given this advice from somebody at their local Social Security office. This idea that your Social Security benefits are based on your last few years of work leading up to your retirement and right before you claim. So the idea that you retire early and then don't claim Social Security for a while would ultimately leave you with a whole bunch of zeros that would drag down your benefit. And this is simply not the case. So let's break it down. Let's say you want to retire at the age of 60, but you don't want to claim Social Security until the age of 65. If you've been given this advice that Social Security is based on the years leading up to when you claim, a lot of people are left with the belief that having zeros in the years prior to claiming Social Security would bring down their benefit. But that's not how Social Security is calculated. Social Security is based on your highest 35 years of earnings, adjusted for inflation. It's not based on your last 5 years of earnings. It's not based on your last 10 years of earnings. It is based on your highest 35 years of earnings, regardless of when they happened. Let's do a somewhat extreme example to help illustrate this. Let's say starting work right out of the gate at the age of 20, you had an income high enough to max out Social Security taxes, and you worked in a field just like that for the next 35 years. And then at the age of 55, you stepped away from the workforce altogether, never to have another dollar of earned income. So you have 35 years where you maxed out Social Security. If you wait until your full retirement age to claim, you would be entitled to the maximum Social Security payout because you have 35 years where you had the highest earnings possible in terms of Social Security. For reference, the maximum benefit at full retirement age in 2025 is $4,018 per month. And that's exactly the benefit you'd qualify for even if you hadn't worked in the past 10 or 15 years, because Social Security is calculated on your 35 highest earning years regardless of when you earned them. It doesn't matter if you took time off, it doesn't matter if you had a late start to the workforce or that you retired early. As long as you have 35 years of earned income, you won't have any zeros in your calculation. Social Security doesn't just look at your last job, it looks at a lifetime of earnings. Myth: Your early career earnings don't count for much. This myth is everywhere, that your early earning years or your lower earning years don't really have that much of an impact on your Social Security benefits. But the fact of the matter is, this isn't true. And those early years may matter more than you think for one very important reason. Social Security adjusts for inflation, and it adds up. Let's say 40 years ago, you were earning about $24,000 a year. That was roughly the median household income back in 1985, according to the US Census Bureau. And you might look at that figure and say, well, that's not going to help much when it comes to calculating my Social Security benefits. But here's the key. Social Security indexes your earlier earnings for inflation. Any income earned before the year you turn 60 is scaled up to reflect today's wages. So if you're reaching full retirement age in 2025, that $24,000 earned in 1985 would be adjusted for inflation, turning it into the equivalent of about $95,000 in today's dollars. That's the number that would get used when calculating your Social Security benefits, not the $24,000 number. So yes, those early earnings absolutely do matter, and they might pull more weight than you actually think. Myth: Social Security gives you back what you put in, dollar for dollar. This one sounds logical, but it misses a crucial detail in how Social Security works. And yes, it's true that if you have a higher lifetime set of income, you will get a higher benefit. Social Security itself is progressive, so that means you get a higher percentage replacement on lower earnings. Social Security uses a formula to calculate your primary insurance amount, the amount you would be entitled to at full retirement age. And that formula is based on your average indexed monthly earnings, your AIME, and it uses bend points to apply different replacement rates to different portions of your income. Here's a simple example. Let's say we have an individual who has AIME of $5,000. Once we plug that into the formula, we come to the conclusion that their total monthly benefit would be about $2,300. Alternatively, let's look at an individual who has an AIME of $10,000. Their total monthly benefit would be nearly $3,500. So even though our second individual earned twice as much, they still only receive about $11,150 additional in benefits, and that's because those early lower earned dollars are replaced at a much higher rate. So do not underestimate those early earnings or those lower earning years. Not only are those early years indexed for inflation, lower earnings are weighted more heavily when plugged into the Social Security formula. And it very well could be that they end up doing more for your Social Security payout than the earnings you have later in life. There's a lot of noise out there when it comes to Social Security, but not all of it's true. Some of these myths are harmless and some of them are very costly. What's most important is that you understand how the system works so you can make the best choices for your future. What myth surprised you the most, or do you have another one to add to the list? Share your thoughts in a comment down below. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye.